not. The central mystery, for example, in Christianity, is taking the communion and you say, this is my body that is given for you. Eat it. And no, this is the central core of the Christian religion. But what it really means is, when it says, this is my body, it means that Jesus is the fertility God. He is, in the sense that he is the son of the fertility God, who has hair like golden corn. And he is Enkidu in Gilgamesh and Epic.
Jesus is.
Jesus. Well, no, not necessarily. Well, possibly. It's all about time travel, and that in the time travel, that comes out in expressed in the idea that you eat your children is one, that
yes,
the Father and the Son.
This is explained in the book.
The three pyramids.
Who was the son that was hidden and who wasn't eaten? Do you remember who that was?
Oh yes, him.
I can't remember. It'll come back to me. You carry on. Sorry. I can't remember who it is.
A son who wasn't eaten.
There was a son who was hidden so that his father couldn't eat him. Or he wasn't eaten by him.
But going back to Gilgamesh, you see, the core of one very interesting section is the saying Enkidu has to die and Gilgamesh doesn't die.
Yep.
And the central plot is that they go on a journey together and kill a monster.
Yep.
The monster is the procurement of the spirit or the baby.
Yeah, but it's actually a mistake to kill him, to kill it.
Kill the baby?
To kill the monster.
No, it wasn't. It was.
No, I mean he shouldn't. It wasn't a mistake. He did it. He deliberately killed it.
They deliberately killed it.
But actually, it would have been better if they hadn't killed it.
Not necessarily. That I mean, you can say that. It's quite. I'd like to talk to you about this, talk it through, but
yeah, go on then.
Basically, the problem was the Earth. It's about who a human is. When they decided the Earth wanted, quote, a lover, a physical lover, in the sense that she lived in time, in a material universe which had, in part of it, the existence of time.
Mm-hmm.
And she wanted a lover who would provide in his sperm or whatever the spirit of life. And beforehand, they had to get that spirit from the stars.
Mm.
But she made Adam, like Pinocchio, she wanted him to be a real God who could provide the spirit of life. Okay, there he was. She made him. That's Enkidu, is Adam, the first man. The actual creation story in the Bible is very literally true, but only if you understand what time is,
yep,
and you understand the central story of Gilgamesh and Enkidu. And you see, then the plot of Gilgamesh is that the women are saying, look, Gilgamesh has to come and screw us before we can have children. We've just got married, but he's got the droit de tenure. He has to come and have a bunk with me before I can conceive. And they said, look, this is no fucking good. You know, we don't want this. And so she made Adam. She made Adam, and then Adam and Gilgamesh had an enormous fight. And actually in the epic, Enkidu comes down out of the stars like a thunderbolt. And basically he is Mars, the planet Mars. And so they decide to go and kill, they break the connection between the stars. The universe is full of rivers, actually, or the main river, there's a river comes from actually Orion, I think, down to here, and the souls of the babies had to come that they killed that river. They stopped it.
Mm. Who stopped it?
What?
Who stopped it?
They did between them. They decided. Well, actually, as the story goes, the women say, "Look, we want the end of this. We want our husbands to be able to give us life." And somebody, the gods said to the goddess with the earth, "Look, make your own god, make Adam." And she threw him into the sky and he became Mars. And then they said, look, actually it was beautifully told, but basically it said, look, this guy is up here and he's wandering around doing what he does. And they said, send him up a wonderfully beautiful woman and he'll want to bonk her and then you'll catch him. So he did.
Yeah.
And she said, look, there's all this enticement on the earth for you. You can bonk me every day if you come to earth. And so he comes down and they cut his hair off. And that stops him from being able to go back and run up in the sky where there's no time. It captures him in time. Because time is an environment. And they cut it. And yeah, so he comes down and he's a spitting image of Gilgamesh. They fight and then they listen to what everybody says, that actually to achieve the end that the women want, they have to go and cut the river, the river is a monster.
Okay.
Actually, the river is the spiral of fifths in harmonics.
Yeah.
If you look at the pictures of Gilgamesh, he holds a sling.
Yeah.
The sling is because he's time. He is the god who whirls the universe around the pole star, which it basically creates time. So he is the creator of time because he's got a sling, there's a stone in it, is the earth. He's whirling the earth round the pole star, creating time. And in the story of David and Goliath, tells you that actually King David is the hero, Gilgamesh. All of the Old Testament is allegory of of real gods.
Yep.
It's the drama of the real gods.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, what happens is they kill, and it's beautifully told that they say to the monster, look, if you tell us what your frequencies are, I will let you shag all the women.
Uh-huh.
That's what it says.
It.
And so they trick it out of him, these frequencies.
Yeah.
They tune in,
Yeah.
and he can't get rid of them after that, and then they kill him. They basically...
Kill who?
They kill them. They kill the river, the monster.
Oh, right, yeah.
Only because they can tune in, which basically is locating him in an instant of time where he can't vanish. You see, he's not in the ordinary. The spirits in the universe don't live in time.
How do they catch him in that particular plane where they can see him, or they can
Well,
capture
the
him?
funny thing is that they had to go to the mountain of gods. So they actually went to the station where he brought the souls down from the stars. They knew where he must arrive.
Yeah.
It's basically actually Stonehenge.
Right.
And so they caught him there, and then he had his own frequency, which was his code, his code number that allowed him to get on this express elevator. Well, in a sense, he becomes a person, or
who, the monster at the
monster,
river?
Yeah. They trick him to give them his PIN number. He gives it to them. They say, in exchange for your PIN number, you can shag all the women. And it's really, and basically you can live in time. Because actually all these wonderful things that we enjoy about life.
To be physical, you have to live in time.
Is you have to be physical and you have to live in time to do it.
Yep.
That actually when you're in spirit, you lose the pleasure of sex and food and the sensory pleasures which we all enjoy. And so they do that, and they kill him, and that means that one of them, Gilgamesh or Enkidu, have to die, which means they have to go and live in the underworld and provide the souls for the children. Now the implication of that is that the underworld is filled with spirits who want to be reborn and become people.
Right.
So some children who are born are actually spirits living in the underworld, and others apparently can still come from the stars.
Can they?
Yeah.
Right.
So you and I come from the stars. I don't think, well, you see, you can feel that you had a life before, but actually what I believe the real story is that when Mars, the planet, had a version of life, and it actually abused its power and was destroyed by cosmic energies, that it got hit by this or something, whatever. And time became filled with all the Martians who were killed. It remained as souls in the underworld. So they created this Earth like a life draft, creating human people like us, evolved, the Darwinian man, as a vehicle in which the Martians could live when they reincarnated. And it's something to do with the fact that if you incarnate, you can get on a trip back. There's a new river back to the stars. The one that they killed is dead.
Yep.
But actually Jesus, in a curious way, recreated a new river. Jesus said, in my name, and you'll be saved. What he literally means is that when I died in 0 AD, my death created this ladder. And if you want to be reincarnated, no, if you want to go back to the stars, time travel back to my death and find the ladder then and my name is actually the pin number.
Yep.
That you get it on it. So the Martians, you see, originally they all came from the stars. They were all spirits who wanted to live in time and have a wonderful sensual time and greedy time. They overdid it, and the result was that the planet got destroyed. So
what planet?
Mars.
Right.
It was hit by asteroids.
Right.
And it was the end of it. It killed.
Yep.
Actually, it's the story of Noah. That is the cataclysm of time. The flood was the flood of time. Time got destroyed on Mars. Nobody could live there anymore because time didn't exist.
When you say nobody could live there, you mean, what do you mean? Who?
Well, it used to have
lived there?
Martians.
Yeah, what were the Martians? They weren't physical beings.
They were just like us.
Were they?
Only they lived on Mars. They were big.
So they were physical, and they lived in a time.
Yeah.
They lived in a time.
They were physical beings like humans.
Okay, all right.
But because they abused the situation, Mars got on the wrong side of a travelling asteroid or meteor or something and got knocked out.
Right.
That left time filled with all of these people who were once people like us, were floating around in limbo in the underworld.
So these are people who physically died?
Yeah.
Tell me, what is the underworld? Where is it?
Very good question. Well, you see, it's the earth. The earth was created the underworld. The underworld is continuously created by us dying and living. Our living creates the underworld. It's an ongoing...
By physically living, we create the underworld.
Yes. Our memories, our experiences.
Yeah.
We are making a film in time that other people can access.
Right. So why is it called the underworld?
Because it is like the reflection of this world, but it's not in time.
But it's not necessarily under us.
Sorry?
It's not actually under us, is it, or beneath us?
No, it's not in time.
Not in time. But it's the memory of our life, not in time.
Well...
Stored on the cloud. Sorry.
The only things that exist in the underworld are the memories of people who lived in this world.
Right.
And it becomes like a life raft. You see all the people flying lost in time, and our underworld comes along. It looks like a life raft to drowning people.
Right.
They join up there. So the underworld is filled with,
And of course, you say people, but they're spirits.
yeah,
Okay. Go on.
people are spirits.
Okay.
But we have two aspects of ourselves. Everybody has two.
One is temporal,
Right?
one is temporal, and one is spirit. Basically.
One of them, I don't really know who the two sides of us are, but it should be. There's a spirit one, and there's
The temporal one.
a living, a child. We are the children of the goddess of the earth,
And we live in time.
and we live in time, and we are children of the Mother Earth. But we have an aspect of ourselves which belongs in the stars. And in fact, you see the children of these goddess came from the stars originally. Some of them were Martians filling the underworld. Some of them are, the underworld is also the home of spirits of all sorts, random spirits, animals, God, everything.
Uh-huh.
But it's like a honey pot, everything what is attracted to it.
Of course.
But you go back to the stars by time traveling back to Jesus and finding his ladder.
Right.
In the old days before Jesus, Avebury, for example, you would go to Avebury, and in a ritual, when the stars were just in the right position and the moon and everything else,
Yeah.
you jumped on the river. It went up through the Great Bear and across the Milky Way, and it went back to Orion. Because when you're out at night, you see there's the Great Bear and the North Star, and then the Milky Way goes across, and at the other end of it there's Orion.
Uh-huh.
Orion is the star where we come from, apparently.
We,
all of us,
or people, all living things.
all living people.
People, okay.
Living things are different. Animals are different because they are all indigenous spirits of the universe.
Mm-hmm.
The universe is not a material universe, it's a spirit universe. If you want to travel in space, you want to go to the stars, you find an animal who would take you.
Yep.
You jump into its mouth and it shoots through your intestine, and that's what all the, like Jonah and the whale and all that. He's actually taking a spirit space trip.
Yes, as long as you can get back out.
Well, it's a funny. I mean, I did this, and actually, you do it with intense concentration. You stay with the animal.
Mm-hmm.
What happened to me was I found a whale shark, and I swam down to its mouth. What's that guy doing there? And the big bloke by its mouth in a wetsuit. I went down there, and it swallowed me. And then I found myself going through a tunnel, which was blue and white tunnel. And I thought, stay with it, stay, intense concentration. And I wound up on Mars. It was a very small radius Mars, red sand. And somebody, the goddess or somebody, blew the sand, and it blew off a perfect naked man lying there. perfect, absolutely perfect. And so I looked up, and there was a snake, a red and white snake this time, not a blue one, a red one. And I immediately ran towards it and jumped into its mouth. And immediately I was riding a huge white horse, which was like a galactic cloud. I was far out in space. And as I looked, there were flying saucers and things going past me. And I said, "Oh, come on, pull the other one." And
Crikey.
the bloody snake put me straight out on Vancouver Island. I think, or somewhere. It was up by Vancouver. Pop me out onto the ground.
Wow.
That was the end of the trip.
How did you get back from Vancouver Island?
Opening my eyes.
You woke up. Wow, that's a fascinating story, Dad. You have told me that before, but not that much detail.
Yeah, but it was funny that it was. What were the circumstances of this? It was weird. Sitting in a very powerful circle, all women, and somehow I'm getting all the power.
Yep. They're channeling all the power to you, Dad.
Well,
Tell me, Sirius, what do you know about Sirius?
Sirius.
Sirius.
Well, Sirius is a dog.
The star.
Yeah, Sirius is a dog. It's the dog star, and it trails Orion.
Yep. Okay.
And actually, if you look at famous old pictures, you see the knight on the charger,
Yeah.
and there's a dog. And the way that the artist says, the educated artist says, that is the hound of remorse.
Mm.
I don't know. The Sirius Mystery is a lovely book, probably, and there's a lot that I haven't been given that.
I know very little, but the book I'm reading, The Law of the Honeybee, says that it's the star of honey, or the star of the honeybee.
Do they?
Yeah, but that's from the ancients. That's from Virgil, I think.
You see, a honeybee has got a pentatonic scale on it. Those markings, which is
It's 7 bands on its
the
abdomen.
pin number of
Yeah.
the river.
Wow.
I've just had my breakfast,
Well,
which is why I'm crunching, but if you're peckish,
Your breakfast. It's
Well,
five. It's
I-
5:03, Kate.
I had a banana.
Or is it 10 to 3? I don't know which one. I will. I'll help myself. Shall I? Thanks. Thank you.
Afraid there's only broken cheese on the
Wonderful.